Rich Dad Poor Dad book was written by Robert Kiyosaki. He is a Japanese American. This book was sold in 51 languages by more than 41 million copies worldwide. Robert was born in Hawaii, USA, in a small family. Robert's father holds PhD. Robert calls his own dad as Poor Dad. Why? Because he always says, to earn money, we need to study hard and we must do job. Robert has a friend named Mike. Mike's father was a businessman. Robert calls him as Rich Dad because he teaches how money works for us. Even though he doesn't had a proper education, he earned a lot. That's why Robert follows Rich Dad's path. Robert says, if you earn more, you tend to spend more, but you cannot become rich. This video explains about how to become rich person and how to make money works for us. So watch this video completely. This book has 6 lessons to earn money. Robert gathered all the teachings of Rich Dad and compiled into 6 lessons. Now let us see what is there in these 6 lessons. Rich will not work for money. Even though Robert and Mike came from poor and middle-class families, they studied in a private school where rich kids also study. Robert and Mike understood that they were poor by seeing the clothes and things of rich kids. They decided firmly to become rich. Robert asked his father how to become rich. Poor Dad said, use your brain. They didn't understand what Poor Dad said. Now they went to ask Rich Dad the same question. Rich Dad said, I know the answer, but I will teach it through work. He hired them in his supermarket to work for 2 days a week. He also said he will give 10 cents as wages. After 2 weeks, Robert vexed with the work and went to Rich Dad. Then Rich Dad gave a smile and said, people who works for wages are same like you. They satisfy with promotions and salary hikes. They think their problems get solved with these, but the main problem is lack of knowledge in finance subject. In that way, Robert increased his wages to $2 and gave one suggestion. The suggestion is, start an organization or business along with your current job. That organization must become your asset, and through that asset you should get income. Robert still had some doubt. One day when he was thinking about this, he saw a lady Martin who works in supermarket throwing comic books. Robert loves comic books. Robert asked Martin to give that books. He took on empty room in Mike's house and turned that into library with that books, and he appointed Mike's sister as librarian. He also set her to collect 10 cents from the kids, whoever comes to that library to read books. In this manner, Robert implemented his first lesson. Now Robert understood that rich won't work for money, but money works for them. Why should we teach financial literacy? We often see the rich people becoming poor without proper money management. Michael Jackson, Arthur Cotton, steel company owner Charles Schwab comes under this category. The reason for this is lack of financial literacy. To construct a house, we need a strong foundation. In the same way, to become rich we need strong financial literacy. Now let us see what is financial literacy. Robert divided this into 4 boxes. We call it as profit and loss statement. We call it as balance sheet. Income means your salary. Expenses means your daily expenses. Asset means the item which generates income. House is an asset which generates rental income. Liability means obligations or loans. If you purchase anything, then the money you pay for it becomes your liability. Car loan EMI is a liability. Now let us see how this cash flows in poor, middle class, and rich families. First, let's see poor families' cash flow. They spend the salary for their daily expenses, clothes, food, movies, etc. By month end, their money flows from income box to expense box. These people can't live without job. Now let's see middle class families' cash flow. Money flows from income box to expense box and liability box. Their salary is used for daily expenses, taxes, EMIs, credit card bills. They can live without job with their savings. Even if their salary increase, their problems will not be solved. They can survive with their savings. After that, they also same as poor families. Finally, let's see rich people's cash flow. They invest their salary in stock markets or real estates or bonds or any businesses. Then they get returns in the form of dividends, rent or interest. They will fulfill their needs with that income. They can live happily even without job. In this whole story, Poor Dad treated his house as asset, but Rich Dad asks us to treat it as liability. Why? Because we have to pay EMI. In this way, rich becomes richer, poor becomes poorer. This is called financial literacy. How many of you are feeling that the company you are working is your own company? If you feel like that, then nothing will be left for you. If you look back, you will see the whole life working for your boss, but not for yourself. Robert gave here one beautiful example. McDonald's owner Ray Kroc says, "I am not doing hamburger business, I am doing real estate." McDonald's purchases land and set up franchise and give it to lease. Along with the hamburger sales revenue, they also generate rental income. From total revenue, they get 80% only from rent. So here Robert says, along with your job, earn some assets such as stocks, bonds, mutual funds, patents, or any other income-generating assets. This is the secret of rich people. Now let's see how tax system was started. Once upon a time there were wars between different countries. At that time, due to lack of sufficient funds, kings asked people to donate some money. In 1799 to 1816 War, Britain. In 1861 to 1865 War, America collected taxes. Later they brought Income Tax Act. Mostly middle-class families suffer with this tax system. Poor people won't have income, so they won't pay any tax. Rich people have business and companies, so they can set off their income with expenses to save tax. Now let's discuss about power of corporation. Corporation means one organization or one company. If you start a company, you can set off the expenses, such as traveling, car maintenance, insurance, etc., with business income to pay fewer taxes. One more way rich people uses to reduce taxes, whenever they sell an asset, such as land, building, they invest the capital gains in government schemes to save tax. Robert says every businessman should be aware of accounting, investing, marketing, and law. Robert created a game called Cash Flow. There are two paths in that game. One path which is outside called Fast Track, another path which is inside called Rat Race. The game is about the rat which was in the inner path should come to outer path, Fast Track. Some people studies hard, get a job, and works for their boss. Robert symbolically calls them as people stuck in rat race. To come out of this rat race, there is only one way: to become aware of money, accounting, and investing. Along with that, people should know these 3 points to become rich. Identify the opportunities in the surrounding. Robert always searches for cheap houses for sale. One day he saw the board, "House for Sale." The board was there for a long time. The owner of that house was desperate to sell that house at any cost. Robert discussed with him. Robert bought that house for $20,000 less than the actual cost. After few years, when price increases, he sold it for double rate. In that way, we should find opportunities. Learn to invest money. Before starting any work, many people complains that they don't have money. Bank will not give us loans. For this, Robert did one thing. Once he found a deal of 20 lakhs apartments selling for 12 lakhs only. But Robert didn't have any penny. Robert borrowed 1 lakh and paid advance. He agreed to pay the balance amount in 90 days. Robert explained the deal with the person from he borrowed 1 lakh. That person liked that deal. Now Robert gave that house to that person. That person gave $50,000 as commission to Robert for showing a good deal. Robert says, investing means not just investing money, it means gaining knowledge on finance. Take the suggestions of financial experts, give them a good commission, then only they come up with good ideas. By following these 3 points, you can easily invent money. Work to learn, but don't work for money. Everyone in schools, colleges, workplaces tells one thing: gain specialization in any one field. That means improving more skills in your field. Poor Dad also tells the same thing to Robert. Poor Dad says, know more about fewer things. Rich Dad says, know less about more things. Robert says job means just over broke. That means you won't get anything from job. Working under a boss for lifelong is like rat race. How much you increase your skills in one field, you will depend that much on that particular field only. A cricketer after retiring cannot actively work in another field. Many big companies hire students from business schools and train them to lead a company in future, by shifting constantly from one department to another. In the same way, rich people also train their kids to gain different fields. Finally, to become successful in life, remember these 3 things. Robert says, if you master these 3 things, money will flow to you automatically. Till now we have seen 6 lessons. Now Robert asks us to get rid of these 5 things, which stops us from obtaining financial freedom. Fear of losing money. Never be jealous on other persons, and don't think about your company getting bankrupt. Sharp your brain and never say, I can't buy this. Instead say, how can I buy this? First start spending on yourselves. Later pay your loans and bills. Roberts says, if you pay yourself first, then pressure starts building upon you to earn money. Never be ignorant. Know about money through books and seminars. Before concluding this, Robert gave some personal suggestions. Know the reason why you have started. Why you have to do that. What you want. Make friendship with rich people to gain knowledge on money. Every day you will come to know about many principles and rules. Follow one after another. Don't say, I will donate when I have money. The law is, give money, receive money. Make some rich person as you role model and inspire from them. Start working now without any late. If you follow all these, you will learn to know that making money is easier.